Hey guys, welcome back to the editing portion of this series. We're going to dive right back into where we left off. This is the photo that we ended on, and if we want to just, for the heck of it, reset it real quick just to show you what it looked like. Not a big difference. It got obviously straightened, the skin tone warmed up, and the vibrance of the greens and the hues changed a little bit. So yeah, let's dive right on into this. Like I said, I'm going to copy these settings and move on to the next photo. As mentioned in the previous video, we selected all of these photos and sync the settings. So really all I should have to do technically is just straighten and adjust exposure, because this is all in a pretty similar scene. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to straighten and adjust exposures. Somewhere around there. Straighten that up. This is my wife's shot, and that was my shot. I mean, I like my wife's shot better, to be honest. I'm going to keep this, but let's black and white it. I'm going to leave that, move on. Little detail shot of the watch. I'm going to bump the exposure up. It's beautiful. Love the watch. I like that shot. Looks great. Navy blue, it's in. A lot of weddings we shot this year were navy blue. In fact, my wife's, or our wedding, all the groomsmen and I were wearing navy blue. Fun fact. Straighten that up. I'm going to bump the exposure up a little bit. Some greens are popping into this now. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get those out of there. One way I'm going to do that is go down to the hue of orange and bump it to the left, make it a little bit more red. And that's fine for me. Let's move on. Similar to this, or similar to the last shot, same thing. There's a little bit of green in the skin tone now. So if we just paste the settings from before, it's going to make the skin tone a little bit more red. Let's try bumping the exposure up. Honestly, it's a little orange for my liking. I'm going to try pulling this temperature down. I just don't think I'm going to be happy with this photo color grading wise. So let me just keep adjusting some stuff down here. And maybe, I mean, it's okay, but still I'm not very happy with there's a lot of greens coming up from the grass, or maybe from the trees. So I'm going to just black and white it and call it good. When in doubt, black and white. That's what I say. Going to paste the settings from before. We'll go back 2 shots, 3 shots, copy these settings, and paste them to this. Could be a tad warmer. Let's do that. Copy that. Move on. It's a great shot, but there's just a lot of reflections coming up from something. Sun shooting on the ground and bouncing green back, or maybe the bushes. I'm going to try pulling the highlights down. Kick the exposure down. It's okay, but I think I'm still going to just black and white it. It looks great either way, but I think it looks good in black and white. I haven't done a whole lot of black and whites in this whole set, and that's a good thing. That usually means that my colors are on par, and so might as well just make a couple black and white photos out of these. Okay, so it looks like we're at the beginning now of the ones that we had selected in the tutorial before. Like I said earlier, your eyes change. One day you're going to look at something a lot different than the next day. So like this right now, we already edited this, but I think it should be warmer now. Super weird, huh? So let's just try. Let's go warmer. Yeah, I don't know. I dig that more. One thing you're going to hear me say at the end of this series of the editing portion is, and this might seem weird to some of you. I'm just going to kind of scroll through these again real quick, double check that they're all good. One thing I do, once I go through a whole set and I re-edit, I go through it one more time the next day really fast and make minor adjustments. And most of the time the adjustments are purely exposure and maybe a touch more of temperature and tint. So what that does is it gives me one last check before I export all the photos and I say goodbye to them. So I guarantee you, if you do this, it might seem like it's time consuming, but it's your last chance to edit a photo before it gets out into the world, and you'll never be able to edit that photo again that's already out there. So I find that I am going up like 2 or 3 clicks on exposure on some of the shots that I go back through. So it's like, if I hadn't have done that, some of them would be a little underexposed to my taste. So again, every day you see something different, but I think you should go through a set at least twice in the editing portion. And it seems mundane and a little bit insane, but I'm telling you, if you're delivering photos to a wedding client, there's so many, and there's just so many chances for one photo to be edited a little funky. And there's gonna always be those, of course, but you know, it's your last chance to give it your all. Okay, so we're moving on. I just pasted my settings that we had copied from all these photos before, adjusted the temperature, and adjusted the exposure a tad. I'm okay with that. So this little section right here now is all pretty similar. So I'm gonna select this photo, scroll all the way over. Let's go right here, sync it. And as you can see, I'm only syncing, well, I guess the only things I'm not syncing are local brushes, transform, which is adjustments to tilt, and the crop and so forth, spot removal, and then the crop. Sync those. Let's move on. Exposure is a tad bright. I'm going to leave it at that. I dig that. Beautiful shot. I like this. Let's make it full screen. Take a look at it. This is nice detail. It's got green in the background. The light on them is very neutral. It's very soft. There's no green getting bounced up into them. That's because the grass they're in, as you can see, is dead. So the light that is bouncing off of that, it's more yellowy. It's not green, and that's good, because green is real. It sucks to edit out, and it sucks to have to work with that. Just going to straighten this up just a little bit. I'm okay with how bright it is, so I'm going to move on. Paste the settings from before. Just going to paste the straightening, and then I can adjust it a little bit more if I need. One click down on exposure. Move on. Paste the settings. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I could introduce a little bit more shadows, but I don't know. I kind of like the low contrast look of this, so I'm going to leave it. Straighten it. Going to go touch down on exposure. Paste those settings from before. 1 click up, or 2 clicks up on exposure. Maybe 3. Let's see if we added a little bit more red in the hue of orange. Kind of like that. So I'm going to select this photo now. And you might think, okay, well, what about all the other ones? You didn't do that to those. Yeah, I didn't, but they looked okay at the time. So I'm going to just reselect those and now sync it with the current settings, which is just one hue adjustment on orange. And if I don't like it, we can always change it. Exposure down. Going to straighten it up. If you guys are curious what I'm editing with, because you're not seeing these bars move or using my mouse, I'm using a Fixer Minimal it's a little MIDI controller for Lightroom. It's a great little controller. You should check it out. I have a video to that on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Nice moment. I always like moments before kisses. I think they're really fun. So it's great to try to capture those. Paste the settings from before, just a little bit of a straighten up. Maybe a little bit more straighten right there. That's good. Exposure down, let's say 3 clicks. And then, I don't know, let's go 1 more click. No. right about there. And then to my eyes, it's getting a little, it looks like it should be maybe a tad warmer. Maybe I need to take a rest on my eyes. I'll copy those settings and let's move on. Paste, straighten, exposure up. Copy, because it's a little bit different now. Okay, let's double check what's going on here. I think my wife was shooting right over my shoulder. So this shot is my wife's shot, this wider shot. This shot before here is my shot. I think I told her recently to start kind of like shooting over my shoulder if she sees a shot she wants. And I like that because she shot a very similar angle, but it's a wider angle, or it's a wider angle lens. It's a 35 millimeter. She shot it at 1.4. And then, yeah, great job, Kat. Exposure down, straighten it up. This was, we'll go back a couple shots, copy these settings. This was the one from her angle again. Move back forward 2 shots, paste those settings. It's a little warmer. Maybe her camera, maybe the lens could make the photo a tad less warm. Who knows? Camera, sensor, never know. It's a little bit of a scrunchy kiss. I'm going to keep it though. Exposure down. Paste my settings from one shot and warm it up a little bit. Straighten. Actually, it's pretty straight. Exposure up just a tad though. Move on. Paste my settings from Kat's photo. Bring that up. Now that we're closer, I'm going to bring the temperature up just to warm skin tone up a little. Exposure up. Highlights down just a touch. Shadows, I want to make it a little more contrasty. Bring them down. Copy that. Detail shot of bokeh. I'm going to just bring exposure down and call that good. Paste my settings. Skin tone's a little funky. Let's go down to the hue of orange. Introduce red. I don't know. Maybe. Saturation of orange up. I don't know. I kind of like that. It's a little rich. So now we're at this closer section of this little shoot. I'm going to just reselect these now and sync the settings from this photo that we just edited. Bokeh. I'm going to straighten that up. That could be a cool black and white. Sometimes what I do a lot, sometimes what I do often, I guess that's probably a proper way to say it, is if I like a shot a lot, I'll right click and click virtual or create a virtual copy. And that basically just creates 2 copies of that photo right here and right here. And on one of them, I'll keep it color if I like it. And then the next one, I'll do black and white, just so they get to choose. I don't do it for a lot of photos, but if I see one that I kind of really like, I'll go ahead and do that. This shot looks great in black and white, looks great in color. So let's do both. Straighten it up. I kind of like the really bright feel of this. It's nice. It's hard for me to tell now. My eyes are playing games with me if it's straight or not. I don't have anything to kind of go off of. The trees a little bit. I think he's standing up pretty straight. I don't know, that looks decent. Let's try one click down on exposure. That looks good. Copy it. Let's move on. I like that how it is. That's great. Just if you're curious, let's reset it and see what it looks like raw. There it is. Out of camera, it looks pretty good. A raw photo never really looks great, of course. And so as the noticeable things that obviously are changing is the profile correction on the lens. That's basically correcting for the distortion of my 50 millimeter. I prefer it doing that. It just looks a little bit more flat. Looks great on wide angle lenses, of course, too. It gets rid of vignetting. This is what the default setting is, but I like to go kind of back to what the lens is actually doing. So somewhere around here. Yeah, looks good. I'm going to leave it. Move on. Straighten. I might go back to the saturation of orange. Click it back to 25. No, I'm just going to leave it. Why not? straighten, 2 clicks down on exposure. 1 click more. How about that? Great shot. I might create a virtual copy of this. His face is, it's great. It's fine. And then I'll do a black and white on the other virtual copy. Push the settings. This one's got a little bit of grain to it. I might go down and add just a crap ton more of grain. Get rid of some of the roughness. Make the size of the grain a little bit bigger. Move on. Looks great. Might warm it up just a touch. Cool shot. I like that. That's another one. I should probably just make some of these in black and white too, because this is good stuff. Just for consistency's sake, I'll go back to this black and white, copy it, go to the virtual copy of this photo that we have now, which I'm on, paste in the black and white, exposure up a kick, leave that photo as it is, gonna leave that. And then that's it. Now we're on to bridal party. Let's just try pasting our settings from the photos before. Oh, we got black and white copied. Whoops. We'll go to this real quick, copy that. Go back here. Paste. Looks like an old film shot, didn't it? Okay. One thing you're going to deal with a lot now with a lot of faces is some people's faces might be wider than others, so overexposures can happen. The highlight bar can definitely be your friend in that case. Of course, this photo is just a tad overexposed, so I'm bringing the exposure down a click or two. That looks pretty good to me. There's definitely some cool tones going on here. Just for the heck of it, let's reset the photo just to see what it looks like before. So this is shot on 50 millimeters still. I'm going a little crazy, and I'm shooting at 1.2 on the 50 millimeter. And a lot of people, I get this question so much. We'll go back to the edited. People ask all the time, like, how the heck are you getting it sharp between all of the people? And the answer to that is I manual focus. I use my little hood loop view thing on the back of my screen, and I manual focus. I zoom in 10 times on the screen, and then I manual focus on bride or groom or whoever's in the middle. Because they're all in a line, they're all in that focal plane. So if you look down here, a little bit behind them is where it's going to start to get blurry, but they're all in that focus plane, so they're all going to be somewhat in focus. So the preset I have on here right now kind of takes away a little bit of the sharpness, and I do that for a couple reasons. So we'll go down here real quick and get rid of the grain and talk about it. So that's grain taken off, and the sharpening's at default. It's pretty sharp. That's pretty sharp for pretty far away at 1.2. Starting to get a little soft on some of the ladies over here. It's not terrible, and could totally be sharpened and be okay if I wanted. But yeah, reason I add grain is because there's something about a digital image that is just too plasticky and perfect looking. I think grain adds a little bit more. Honestly, it might seem counterproductive, but it's making the image a little less sharp and more, I guess back in the film days, it's just a little grainy. And I don't know, I like that. I don't think it'll ever go out of style. It's not grain that you can really see unless you zoom in close and are print like a 30 by 60. So yeah, I'm going to reset though. Go back to the grain that I had. All right, there it is. So yeah, I sometimes get a little creative or crazy, I guess, and shoot at 1.2 on my lens. It's a pretty great lens. It will have a little chromatic aberration, as you can see this pink stuff on his collar or on some of theirs. You can get rid of that in the lens correction spot. You can say remove chromatic aberration, and then go to manual and click the amount of that you want to get rid of. And if you do that, you can see it gets rid of that line. I honestly just leave it unless it's terrible, because it can take away the pinks in their lips and so forth. So, I mean, if you go crazy, you can see sometimes it'll take away I think it has to load after a while, but sometimes it'll take away the colors in people's lips, and it just doesn't look natural. So I don't remove it unless it's very noticeable. Okay, guys, time is up for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please subscribe. There's a little button on the bottom left of the screen. I really appreciate it. Making these videos for free, of course. I love all of the support I've been getting so far. It's really encouraging, and yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for following along on this. Until next time, thank you so much.